Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chris Guyette of Full Court Press Basketball Debate. Again, I'm not with Yvonne Juno today. I'm going to be doing this one by myself as well. This is the Daily Dish of November the 1st. Happy November, everybody, and happy Halloween from yesterday around the world. Last night, on Halloween night, we had some very surprising wins to some very surprising teams. And first, we'll go over those. Last night, started with the Memphis Grizzlies at the Indiana Pacers. I picked Memphis to win this game. But I tell you what, guys, after the first quarter, after the first half, I was concerned because Memphis was down 8 at half, and Indiana looked good. Indiana was rolling. And in the third quarter, Indiana just absolutely disappeared off the face of the planet. They became the Indiana Pacers of last year in the playoffs. But worse. 33-14 was the score in that third quarter. Advantage Memphis. Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol, I told y'all in the previous Daily Dish that I thought these big guys were going to play an extremely big role, and they did. Zach Randolph, 22 points, 13 rebounds. Marc Gasol, 20 points, 6 rebounds. Although Marc was in foul trouble, he had 5 fouls in this game. But look, their defense was absolutely unstoppable. They only allowed 9 shots out of Roy Hibbert, 4 of which he hit. Only 8 points for him. Luis Scola just 1 for 3 in 19 minutes. I mean, your high scorer here was Chris Copeland off the bench, and he had 16. Point of the matter is, Memphis really showed their defensive swagger that they have been showing for the past 4 or 5 years. It doesn't come as a surprise. Memphis wins this one 97-89. The big one last night. After the shocking loss to the Knicks on the 30th, LeBron and the Cavs were determined to go into Chicago and get this win. Honest to God, I did not think it was going to happen. And the Cavaliers proved me wrong. It took overtime, but they proved me wrong. LeBron James absolutely took over this game, 36 points. And Chicago just, in the second quarter, Derrick Rose twisted his ankle. It's a very mild sprain, so there's nothing to worry about for Bulls fans out there. There's nothing to worry about, but Kevin Love was good. LeBron was just absolutely dominant in this game. And your leading assister for Chicago was Mike Dunleavy, who played an excellent game. But all in all, it was a fun game to watch. Cleveland ended up getting the victory 114-108 in overtime. Let's see. The next game was Philadelphia at Milwaukee. It didn't really shock me that Milwaukee won this game. What shocked me is that Philadelphia, after scoring 24, 23, and 27, and actually taking a 1-point lead to the fourth quarter, scored 7 points in the fourth quarter. That's it. 7 points. It was a disaster in the fourth quarter for Philadelphia. Jabari Parker played well, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Expect more of that if you're a Milwaukee fan. But Milwaukee gets this win 93-81. O.J. Mayo, the high scorer, with 25 points. The San Antonio Spurs visited the Phoenix Suns. This was a fantastic game if you like backcourts. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, and for the Suns, Isaiah Thomas, Goran Dragic, Eric Bledsoe. Fantastic game. It came down to the wire. The Spurs were actually up by 13 at the end of the first quarter, so it looked like a wrap. But Phoenix came back. They won this game 94-89. Isaiah Thomas off the bench, 23 points and 4 assists. It doesn't surprise me, but Tony Parker was good again, 19.6 rebounds. San Antonio didn't put up the points that they did in the opener against Dallas. Phoenix did a very good job. In Phoenix, I said, in one of the full court press debates with Yvonne that Phoenix was going to be a surprise team to watch in the West. I knew that. I'm saying that backcourt, that trio of Dragic, Bledsoe, and then Thomas off the bench. You've got three guys that, for a defense, you need to key in on. But it's so hard because when Thomas comes off the bench, it's hard to leave your starters out there because your starters get tired. And Isaiah Thomas is not a reserve player. The guy's almost an all-star. And he proved it against San Antonio. Again, your final there, 94-89. Phoenix knocks off the champs. This is the one that shocked me. Portland at Sacramento. Look, it was a close game until the fourth quarter. Rudy Gay is proved last night that he is what he has been hyped up to be. He is a perennial all-star caliber player. 40 points for Rudy Gay as Sacramento knocks off Portland 103-94. Again, another poor night for your all-star Damian Lillard. Portland, I'm watching Lillard. I'm concerned about that. And the Battle of Los Angeles 2014, Part 1. I'll tell you what. The Lakers had this game. And I picked the Lakers to win this game. And they should have closed this game out. But Blake Griffin was too much in the fourth quarter. 39 for Blake Griffin, but Jordan Hill was very impressive for the Lakers, 23 points. Chris Paul had his usual double-double. But what impressed me the most, and I know the Lakers fall to 0-3, they lose this game 118-111. What impressed me the most about the Lakers, and what I was the most happy about, was the aggressiveness of Jeremy Lin. I had been on the record saying that Lin needed to be more aggressive because in the first two games, it was like he was non-existent. And he really did. He stepped up against the Clippers at home. And I think this was a turnaround game for the Lakers. They just needed to get these first three out of the way. They have Golden State coming up tonight, which we'll talk about. But the schedule has just not been kind to the Lakers. I don't expect them to beat Golden State tomorrow. But this game at home against the Clippers got their confidence going. They scored 111. They had this game going into the fourth, and they just couldn't close it out. Again, your final, Blake Griffin has a big night. 118-111. Clippers knock off Kobe and company. Now we move to tonight's games. The first game on tap, the Dallas Southwest Divisional Battle. The Dallas Mavericks take on my New Orleans Pelicans. And the Pelicans are actually favorites to win this game by 1 point. Now, I don't like when the analysts and the scorers put up 1 and 1.5 and 2. Anything below 3, you had to put something on paper, okay? My thoughts on this game. This is going to show a lot about both teams. How good is Anthony Davis? How well does Chandler Parsons fit in with Dallas? This game is going to answer a lot of unanswered questions. The key to this game that I'm looking out for is the matchup of the matchup that is supposed to be Dirk Nowitzki on Anthony Davis. If Dallas, mark my words, if the Dallas Mavericks stick Dirk Nowitzki on Anthony Davis and not Tyson Chandler on Anthony Davis, it's going to be a long night for the Mavericks. Dirk Nowitzki is a liability defensively. All in all, I'm picking New Orleans to win this game, and I'm picking New Orleans to win this game by 4. Moving on. Memphis visits Charlotte. Both teams undefeated. Memphis played last night, is on a back-to-back, had to travel. And they will take on the Charlotte Hornets, who were led in a big-time performance by Kemba Walker in their first game. They had to go to overtime to beat Milwaukee and had two huge clutch shots from Kemba Walker. They'll take on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. Charlotte is favored by 3.5 here, and I completely disagree with this. I think Memphis, again, you're starting Marvin Williams at that 4 spot. Not that Marvin Williams is anything to sneeze at. Don't get me wrong. I like Marvin Williams. He fits the mold that Charlotte is looking for. Not against Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. I look for Memphis to win this game by about 8 points. Although I do think Charlotte is going to make this interesting. The Toronto Raptors visit the Orlando Magic, who are still looking for that first win. Toronto is your favorite by 6, and I couldn't agree more. Orlando, I like what Orlando is trying to do. I think Nikola Vucevic and Jonas Valanciunas, it's going to be fun to watch. The thing I like about Toronto, in their first game, Lowry had 11 points. Terrence Ross had 13. DeMar DeRozan had 15. Amir Johnson had 16. Jonas Valanciunas had 17. Excuse me. It is very evenly spread. Now, that being said, Orlando has had a good spread as well. Vucevic is averaging 19. Tobias Harris is averaging 19.5. And Evan Fournier is surprising some people, averaging 16. But then you look at Elfrid Payton, who's averaging a mere 3 points per game. He needs to be aggressive for Orlando to even have a chance to win this game. And I think he's still being passive. He's a rookie. I understand it. But as the season rolls on, you got to be aggressive. Toronto wins this game by about 11 points. The Miami Heat visit the Philadelphia 76ers. Miami is the favorite by 9. Look, the way Miami performed in that first game against Washington, speaking of even scoring, I mean, come on. It was fantastic. Chris Bosh was great. I think Miami's going to win this game by almost 20 points. I really do. Philadelphia, again, I'm not taking anything away from Philadelphia, but they're a team on a back-to-back. They had Milwaukee last night, and they lost, so their confidence is down. Look, Miami is the surprise team in the East. People are doubting them because LeBron left, as they have a right to do, but I'm not doubting them. When you have Dwayne Wade on that floor, you are capable of anything. And I like what Eric Spoelstra's doing by starting Norris Cole at the point guard spot. Luol Deng is starting to be a nice fit. And this team dominated Washington. I mean, the score doesn't show it. Miami only won the first game by 12 against Washington. But if you look at the stats, they were dominant. And then there's the experience advantage. You know, Chris Bosh against Henry Sims. Now, again, Henry Sims and Nerlens Noel, they're going to be a fantastic big-time duo when they grow experience-wise. Lord knows they don't need to grow height-wise. They need to grow as far as an experience standpoint. Miami wins this game by 17. The Milwaukee Bucks visit the Washington Wizards. Bucks are on a back-to-back. They had to travel. Washington is favored by 9, and I think that's about right. Washington, they didn't look good against Miami. They looked good against Orlando. Now, that being said, that is Orlando. My concern here, how in the world is Milwaukee going to stop them defensively? Jabari Parker is starting at that 4 spot, and he's going to have a tough matchup against Nene tonight. I think Nene's going to have a fantastic game. I look for Washington to win this by 10. The Indiana Pacers visit the Atlanta Hawks. This is going to be a good game. if Roy Hibbert decides to show up. Another team on a back-to-back. Look, Al Horford did not have the best comeback opening game against Toronto, but he's going to improve as the season goes on. He's trying to get his feet under him. He's trying to get his rhythm back, much as the Pelicans guard Drew Holiday is. He didn't look too great against Orlando in the opener, but he's trying to get his feet back. He's trying to get his legs under him. He's trying to get his rhythm. Same thing with Al Horford. I think he has a better game tonight, and Atlanta's favored by 10.5. I don't think it's going to be that big of a spread, but I am picking Atlanta to win by about 8 points. The Brooklyn Nets visit the Detroit Pistons. Now, this is a game. This is the second one that Yvonne Juno and I disagree on. Because we do our pick'em, okay? She's picking Brooklyn to win this game. I'm looking for Detroit to get their first win. I know Detroit fans are very happy with me saying that, but they want to know where I get that, because Brooklyn is a good team. Here's where I get that. Rebounding advantage goes to Detroit. Andre Drummond against Mason Plumlee. Josh Smith is in there. But the thing I need from Detroit, by the way, they are favored by 3 tonight. The thing I need from Detroit, I need Brandon Jennings. Through the first 2 games, he's averaging a mere 4 points per game. I need Brandon Jennings to step up in this game, because Darren Williams and Joe Johnson are going to be there. So I need Jennings. And I could even use some from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And Josh Smith. And look, Detroit has not been bad, but they have not been great. Detroit has great potential. They need to put it together. I think Stan Van Gundy gets his first win tonight as the coach of the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons win this by 6. Boston visits Houston. Many people are picking the upset here for Boston, and I can see why you do it. These teams surprisingly match up pretty well. Rajon Rondo, who was fantastic in the season opener against Brooklyn, 121-105 was the final of that game. Rondo had a double-double. Avery Bradley looked good. Look, they match up well, except the big man spot. I think Dwight Howard tonight is going to take, no matter who's on him, Olynyk or Jared Sullinger, either one. He's oversized. He's more skilled. I think he takes Boston to school tonight. I'm seeing about 25 and 12 out of Dwight tonight if James Harden and company can feed him the ball. Houston's going to win this game by about 11. Chicago at Minnesota. Minnesota, a surprise team so far. Chicago on a back-to-back. They lost against Cleveland. Their momentum is down. Is Derrick Rose going to start? We don't know. I don't think it matters. I think Chicago is going to win this game. They're favored by 2.5. I'm saying Chicago by 5. Denver at Oklahoma City. Ooh. Russell Westbrook went down. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. It's tough to pick Oklahoma City. I'm going to give them one more chance. I'm picking OKC to beat Denver tonight. Denver's favored by 5, as they should be. I think Oklahoma City wins this by 2. Simply because they are at home. Phoenix at Utah. Phoenix had a big win last night at home against San Antonio. They are traveling. I don't think it matters. Phoenix is favored by 2, and they're going to win this game because of that trio in the backcourt. Utah is not there yet. They cannot stop that. Phoenix wins this by 13 points. And the last game, the LA Lakers at the Golden State Warriors. Golden State is favored by 15. Kobe Bryant has had a fantastic start to the season, but Golden State's too good right now. Yeah, I think Golden State wins this game by about 15 points. I don't see any way that Kobe and company are going to be able to hold that. On the road, at home, I'd give it more of a chance. But on the road, it's just tough for me to pick the Lakers over Golden State with the way they are, with the state that they're in right now. I think the Lakers are going to get it together after this game because they get a couple of nights off. They have Sunday off, and then the next time we see them is on the 4th at home against Phoenix, which is going to be a good game. So, I think they'll get it together after this one, but I can't pick the Lakers over Golden State tonight. That wraps up this edition of Full Court Press, the Daily Dish. I am Chris Guyette. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.